This pedal board asks a lot of questions, and I want to talk about a few of them today. Firstly, how do you run a Quad Cortex by Neural DSP in multiple spots on your pedal board? This is something that has become more and more common, taking something like a Neural DSP Quad Cortex and running it on your pedal board with other fully analog pedals. So you have some analog pedals. Today, this is the Kingsley Page and the Kingsley Harlot. And then you have a whole bunch of digital effects, everything that's in the Quad Cortex. And after that, we have the Meris LVX, a delay, and the Strymon BigSky, a reverb. So we're mixing analog and digital effects in one place. But with the Quad Cortex, we're running that both before the analog effects and the same Quad Cortex after the analog effects. To do this, you take your guitar. In this pedal board, we're plugging right into the Quad Cortex. The Quad Cortex has effects loops built into it. And what this looks like in reality is a way of splitting the Quad Cortex into multiple places on your pedal board. So we take effects send 1 and we're gonna run that to all of the dry pedals. That is gonna be, like I said, a compressor, the Kingsley Page, the Kingsley Harlot, a volume pedal, and then we leave those dry pedals and come back to the effects return. So now we can run part of the Quad Cortex before all these pedals or before the effects loop in the Quad Cortex. Then we can run the other part of the Quad Cortex after the effects loop or after the dry effects. So you might want to run something in the Quad Cortex like a pitch effect before the dry effects, and then maybe some modulation, tremolo, chorus, maybe even delays and reverbs after the effects loop with the dry effects housed in there. This is how you run your Quad Cortex in multiple places on the same pedal board. With this pedal board, another question is being asked. Why did we have to put Longline on a pedal board that already has XLR outputs? The Quad Cortex comes with stereo XLR outputs. So why would we put Longline, a product that adds XLR outputs to your pedal board, on the same pedal board? The main reason here was outboard wet effects. So we're basically going guitar, Quad Cortex, effects loop for dry effects, back to Quad Cortex. This is where you typically leave the pedal board with XLR straight from the Quad Cortex. You're good to go. But there's still more pedals in this signal chain, and this is a key part of the answer. We're leaving the Quad Cortex with 1/4 inch unbalanced standard patch cables. And then we're going to the Meris LVX. This is, again, a delay pedal. We're running this in stereo. From there, we run into the BigSky, a reverb in stereo. And since the BigSky doesn't have XLR outs, now we need to run to something that does have XLR outs, Goodwood Audio's Longline. So now Vincent can run stereo XLR outs after his last wet effect, the BigSky, and he is good to go. With this pedal board, you can run real amps. You can run real amps, but just the power amp using the Kingsley tube preamps as your preamp section. You can run amp sims on the Quad Cortex, so you have ultimate flexibility with amps and outputs on this pedal board. Hopefully this has been interesting and has caused you to think about your gear a little bit differently than you would have. Now you know how to run your Quad Cortex in multiple places on your pedal board and why you might need XLR outputs even though you already have them on a separate piece of gear on your board. Hopefully this has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you there.